G'day there, thanks for coming to my channel. Please let me just take a moment to thank the people that are responsible for this channel even existing, my patrons. These guys do more for me than I can ever put into words. Thank you all so much. Man, I cannot believe just how big this screen is getting now. It just totally blows my mind. You guys are nuts, you're insane, and I love yous all. Anyway, it's time for the video, so I hope you enjoy.
What?
Hello, thank you for stopping by. Welcome to this Q&A. If you don't see your question answered today, don't forget you can always leave me some more questions in the comments below with the hashtag Q&A, so that way I can find them, or you can email me, pocari@outlook.com. We are doing YouTube comments today, so here we go. From the Pebble Eyes, what would your dream fursuit be? Like adding LED, movable tail, ears that could make you fly. For this moment, ignore the prizes and unleash the power of imagination. Honestly, I think my limitless imagination dream fursuit would be a fursuit of a kaiju that is actually like nearly kaiju sized. Okay, maybe not like literal kaiju sized because that's like 10 stories high. Probably like, I don't know, 10 feet tall. That'd be pretty cool. And then maybe something that will let me like breathe fire and I got like all these cool LEDs. Like, I would design a new character just for that. Otherwise, we want to dive into the realms of what could actually be possible. One thing I would love to have is a ride-on Arcanine suit. So it kind of works out like those inflatable like ostrich costumes where it looks like you're sitting on the ostrich, but the ostrich's legs are your legs, and the legs that look like your legs are fake legs. So it'd be like that, but an Arcanine, and there's like, you know, another pair of legs at the back. So I could just like ride into a convention just on my Arcanine and be like, yes, hello everybody, I have an Arcanine and you don't. And of course it would be a shiny Arcanine, huh? Let me know in the comments what yours would be. I'm really curious to see what ideas people have. From Direwolves. Hey Pocari, so recently I started making my first fursuit of my character Hiccup the Griffin. Hiccup has a beak, and I was wondering, instead of using fur for the beak and shaving it down, could I use those craft store felt sheets? If you don't know what they are little squares, rectangles of felt that you can find at basically any craft store. I don't really know their exact name, sorry. Anyways, I was just wondering, can I use those on my fursuit? Or will they get easily ruined by washes or just time? Anyways, love your vids. You have tons of great fursuit advice. I hope you can answer this question, but if you can't, thanks for reading anyways. I'm not really too sure. You'd sort of have to get some and test it. Because that felt stuff tends to be like pretty rigid. It doesn't flop like most materials do. So you won't really be able to get a beak that isn't anything except, well, a chicken beak, because chicken beaks are, straight. If you want a nice beak shape, you probably want to get something like fleece. Hey, let me go get one of my bird boys. Alright, I gotta turn off the green screen for a sec, just excuse me for a moment. There you go. So this is one of my bird boyos, and he was made by Groovy Goat Costumes. So what they've used for the beak is actually fleece. Fleece is really good because it comes in such a wide range of colors. It stands up pretty well, and you can put it over pretty much any shape. I'm not sure what they've actually made the beak itself out of. Like, it's quite solid. Like, it feels like plastic, but I'm not entirely sure on that one, sorry. And yeah, I think that felt stuff that you're thinking of would probably just disintegrate in the wash. So I still think you should get some and test it out, because I'm really interested to see how it goes. But I would much more recommend using fleece. Alright, green screen back on. There we go. Thank you. From Crazy Mofo. Hey Pocari, I was just wondering what kind of suit accessories would be inappropriate or not allowed at a con. I was thinking about bringing a skateboard. Greetings from Hell, Michigan. A still buddy, aka Roller Rabbit. I don't think they would let you take a skateboard in the con. Like, you have to ask the con staff and probably the hotel itself. The reason why I think they might say no is it could be a liability. Like, if you fell off the skateboard and broke your leg, then you could probably sue the hotel or the con, and they probably don't want that to happen. But each one's different, so do check with them. Other things you might have trouble with, one of the big ones is weapons. Of course, real weapons won't be allowed, don't bring real weapons, but even fake weapons you could run into some trouble with. I know at pop culture conventions like Supernova and that, they have a massive weapons check station because a lot of cosplays, they're from characters that have their signature weapons and stuff, so they need to check over your weapons and make sure they're not actually weapons, they're just props. And even then, anything that looks realistic usually won't be allowed in. Because I know a lot of furries, like especially like German Shepherds, like to do the whole German Shepherd police cosplay thing, and police have guns, so you might not be able to get a fake gun and other fake weapons into the convention. There's really not too much else. There's harnesses. Some cons just completely ban harnesses or only allow them out at night. For anything else, just ask yourself, does it look dangerous? Is it actually dangerous? Or is it offensive? If you answer yes to any of those, then you probably can't bring it. From Vixie Mix 101. Hi Pocari. I was wondering if I should change my persona. I saw someone who nearly has the same one as mine, and yet I don't know them, and they were made before me. Should I change? This does happen from time to time, especially with really simple designs, so if you're really unsure, just contact them. Just be like, hey, I thought my character looks a little bit like yours. I just want to know if you're okay with it. And then they'll be like, yeah, that's okay, I don't really care. Or they'll be like, oh, actually, I don't like this bit, can you change something about it? And yeah, and then it's up to you for what you want to do about it. I wouldn't stress too much, as long as you can still tell the two characters apart, you'll be fine. And even then, if it's just a really simple kind of design, then I wouldn't really stress too much. Like, the doubles happen with the simple designs. Like, there's only so many ways you can design a white wolf. From Patch Paws. Hello, Pocari. So, I really love snakes, and I kind of want to get a snake persona or character, but I don't know how you make an anthro snake, because I'm probably going to get very attached to this persona if I make it, and will probably want to get or make a suit of it. But how does one make an animal with no legs anthro enough for a fursuit? So could you please answer this, not just people with snake personas, but also the fish, slugs, snails, and other animals that don't exactly have legs? Also, do you know of any makers that make animals with more than 2 arms? Because my main persona Patch has 4 arms, and I really love insects and arachnids, and I want to make pre-made suits of them, and I don't know of any makers I could ask. So could you please tell me about some makers who have made suits with more than 2 arms? Well, I'll answer the arms one first, because that's the easiest. Eldragon! Eldragon has made a couple of suits with multiple arms, and they are like the monarch of crazy fursuits, so I would definitely go to them for some advice. As for the snake, well, it does get very hard, because you can't really have a suit without legs, because how are you gonna walk? How are you gonna transport yourself? Like, I suppose you could have wheels, but even then, it's just really hard. Usually when people's personas are an animal that doesn't normally have legs, they just give it legs. Like this snail, or this goldfish. One thing you could do is you could sort of build the fursuit so it looks like the snake is sitting on a table, but in the table is where your leggies are, so you're just sort of sitting on a walking table. You should totally go to City Mutt Fursuits for your snake, by the way. They recently made this cobra head, and oh my goodness, I love it so much. It's so good. It's so perfectly snake. One final thing you could do is instead of having a fursuit, you could have a puppet. So you have a snake draped around your neck, and then the head comes out into your hand, and you can control it. From Simple Patat. Hey Pocari, I was wondering, does your character have to be an original character to be made into a fursuit? I have a bunch of fandom OCs for this book series called Wings of Fire, a series about dragons. A lot of the OCs I made for that fandom are near and dear to my heart, but I don't know if some fursuit makers will turn me down because my characters aren't exactly my original creation. I love your channel show, McFreaking much. With much love, a Simple Patat. As long as the characters are still an original creation, you should be okay. It's when the character looks exactly like a copyrighted character is when you might start getting into trouble. So like personas based on Pokemon. If their persona looks exactly like the Pokemon, like still has the same colors and everything, they can be turned down by some fursuit makers. But if it's changed colors, so like, you know, a purple polka dot Absol or something, then you'll be okay. This is because once the fursuit maker starts actually profiting off that copyrighted image, that's when the legal trouble comes. But if it's just a fan character, you'll be okay. From I Like Crunchy Animal Jam. Okay, so I've seen these online things that claim to be pre-made cheap fursuits, but someone already owns them as a persona. Do you like sell your persona to companies or something? Also nice videos. Thank you. No, they have not been sold. They have been stolen. The copyright laws in China are very different to the rest of the world, so it's quite easy to get away with theft of intellectual property, that's the word. However, the results are nowhere near like the actual fursuit photo they've stolen. Check out Tamari Lion. So this is what his fursuit looks like normally, and there is a Chinese company advertising that suit for sale. Someone actually bought one, and this is what they got. Very different. So really the only way we can fight this is just spread awareness, let people know that if they see a really good fursuit for cheap, that it is going to be too good to be true, and then just not link people to where they are. However, if you do see someone running around in one of these knockoff fursuits, don't be mad at them, don't go after them, because a lot of these suits are bought by kids and parents who don't know any better. Fight them with awareness. From RDG Co Productions. Why do you and Keema plan to move to Canada? Yeah, if you haven't already heard, Keema and I are on our way to Canada. It won't be until about this time next year, but our visas did recently get approved, so it is happening. So there's a fair few reasons as to why we want to do this. Well, Canada just looks really nice. We've always wanted to go to Canada. We're also not very big fans of the heat in Australia. Like, I like the heat for a holiday. I don't like living in the heat. But as I'm sitting still, I'm just there sweating. It's so gross. I can't go out fursuiting. It just kills my productivity. It's just, I want the cold. And then the other reason is, of course, you guys. Like, most of you guys are in America or nearby. And after going to MFF, we really want to experience more of America and go to more American cons. However, it's very hard for us to live in the USA. There's really only two ways we can do it. We can either be sponsored by a workplace, or we have to marry someone over there. Now, of course, the marriage one is totally out of the question. I'm already marrying Keema. But for the workplace one, that is when you need to actually find a company to go like, oh yep, hey, these people are going to come work for me. And then you just go work for them. And then whenever that's finished, you have to go back anyway. So being self-employed, doing the YouTubes and the arts, that doesn't really work. Because we can always go to America for a holiday, but I think the maximum stay is 3 months and you're not allowed to work. However, Canada has this amazing thing called a working holiday visa, which lets you stay in Canada for 2 years, and you can work anywhere you want for as long as you want. And you don't even have to. And then the coolest part is, after staying in Canada for 1 year, we're allowed to apply for residency. Could you imagine that? I could be like an Australian Canadian at the same time, a dual citizen. I don't know if we'll get that far, like maybe we won't like it and we'll just come back. We'll see how we go. It just helps this channel and everything we do in 10 ways from Sunday. Like, it almost feels stupid to not at least give it a go. So in 1 year from now, I will be an official Canadian fur. Let me know in the comments if you're a Canadian fur as well. From Neon Bat. I'm rather new to your videos, so I'm sorry if you've already gotten this question. How do you feel about fursuit makers who use/recreate the same base for their heads? Hard Cacti, Mischief Makers, Morpholis, and One For all seem to use this method. And personally, I don't like it because it results in heavy same face syndrome. And sometimes even makes suits look like walking recolors. But that's just my take. What are your thoughts on them? I think it's absolutely fine, because in this fandom, we are lucky enough to have many makers to choose from. So you've got the makers who will make them from scratch, and then you've got the makers that will do their own bases. There are a lot of people who want consistency when it comes to their fursuit, because a lot of times they'll commission a maker who does the custom bases, and theirs turns out nothing like what they expected. So if you go to a maker that does bases, you pretty much already know what you're gonna get. Plus, a lot of these really big makers just don't have time to do bases from scratch anymore. They've got to use these pre-made bases so that more people can have suits from them. And I think that's great. I like more accessibility. It's not a good thing, it's not a bad thing, it's just a thing. It's something you can choose. I don't know, I just really like having options. I never see more options and more opportunities as a negative. But that about wraps things up for this Q&A. Thank you for watching. Once again, you can leave me some more questions in the comments below with the hashtag Q&A, or you could email me, Pocari@outlook.com. It doesn't even have to be furry related. You can ask me what I had for breakfast this morning. There you go. Alrighty, I will see you guys next time. Yeah, have a good one. Bye!